Many big thanks to DE for becoming the 47th patron. 47! That is crazy. You guys are awesome. And there's 3 YouTube members, so we're actually at 50. That is a milestone I never really dreamed or dreamt of achieving. So thank you guys so much. Now, today we're diving into a match where RNG, also known as Random Number Generator, was on my side. Everything worked exactly how I hoped for it to work in terms of like hitting stuff. Yeah, it's gonna be awesome. So we are playing against Earl Grey here, who's playing as the American Mechanized battle group. And we got a Bent Spoon and Nanai going for the middle and the left. Now on my side of things, I have the 79th Armored. We're taking that to the right side towards Kilo Lima. We have Mr. Vonful going to the center with the 79 as well. And we have Master C101 on the left side as the 35th. Really interesting area to play as a 35th. And I do want to try this myself, especially with the 85mm cannons. The tank destroyers, like anti-tank guns that they have. Like put like 1 or 2 over here if you can. And just ambush one of those like initial convoys. Or maybe just put one like here. Get like a couple over here and there. That, yeah, the 80 weapons that the 35th gets are really nice. Now we're actually seeing a couple of them being used here, as you can see. So the 85mm, really good. They are really good. I recommend all of you to try these out. About 2 kilometers range, but that accuracy and the rate of fire is insane. And on top of that, it is kinetic, so the closer an opponent is, the more damage you do to it. And the high rate of fire is like 13 rounds per minute. It's crazy. It really is crazy. So Master flew over a plane just to see kind of what kind of, you know, aero units they have. And we noticed that they have no AA, or at least no AA that is targeting the MiG-23s. And we are communicating in the game chat, letting them know what's going on and stuff. So, yeah, look at that. MiG-23 being a pretty useful little plane early on. 155 points, but almost destroying a tow cobra there, making those heli stop. So pretty nice. Now on the right side here, my plan is quite simple. So we have some recon units coming up. One of them is going to go into that building, the other one is going to go to the right side. And these Spetsnaz GRUs are tasked with just keeping an eye on the enemy. Now we have 2 more of those on the left side, and they're going to hold the force over there. And we have some Sapri dudes going over there as well with the RPO launcher. Now we have a BRDM2 command, mainly for speed. So this guy is just going to get in there, try to capture all that. Meanwhile, my T80 BVK is just hanging out in the back. He's going to move up to the front and try to hold that a little bit later. Now on the left side, Master being very aggressive against Mr. Nanai, who is playing as a 3rd Armored. So yeah, Master definitely has that advantage with the forward deployment, since NATO or US Mechanized doesn't really get that many. You get the LRS teams and stuff, but other than that, it's kind of rough. So M3A1 Bradley here, firing a ATGM at the BRDM. Luckily, we get into its blind spot, and we fall back. We do have a Cub over here, and we're going to attack move this guy to try to take over, or take out this tow cobra. And man, a Cub against 1 helicopter, yeah, you only need to hit once. Because these Cubs do 9 damage. And most helicopters just cannot handle that kind of damage. So we move in that BRDM2 command again. The enemy's command has moved to the right side after he capped this zone. So we kind of switch sides. Now LRS team's really good. Amazing optics on those guys, so they're actually seeing quite a bit, I believe, if we just go into his point of view. Actually, doesn't even spot that tank. Okay. Wild Weasel was flown in, so we do micro these AA pieces. We turn them off if we don't need them. An A tank comes in, we smoke the T80, and we immediately make sure that we have supplies with our Cubs so that we can open up once again. So we have a Cub on the left that fires away. This guy is now reloading. We miss twice. We miss, I believe, 3 times with that, but we do hit him once with a MiG-23 or MiG-31. And that guy is now out of commission. So, all in all, pretty successful right there. Now over here, we have an M3A1 and an M1 Abrams. And we're gonna show you guys how effective a T80 can be with these ATGMs. Because man, this guy was on something. Mr. Roden here, he was not planning to miss anything. So we quickly get the supply truck here just to get its smoke dispenser refilled. We fall back a little bit and then move up this way so that we're out of range of the Bradley's ATGMs and that we can take these guys on. Now the Spetsnaz, really good recon units. They see absolutely everything. Earl Grey's recon does not actually see our Spetsnaz, which amazes me how stealthy these guys are. Meanwhile, we do see the LRS because they're not in the bush, they're just out in the open. Alright, here we go. So T80U firing the Reflex ATGM. One of them misses. Well, loses track, really, doesn't actually miss. But we fire another one at this poor Bradley over here. And he either doesn't have smoke or is not being microed, so we destroy that in one shot. And that is a recon Bradley. Those are expensive. So at this point, we just move the Spetsnaz up a little bit to try to get some better line of sight here. And we move the BRDM2 command up to the right side as like a... just as a preparation to take over. But at this point, the opponent team is leading with almost 900 points, so we're actually not doing that great. We don't have this zone captured. We are doing really good on the left, far left though. Master is pushing Nanai back aggressively. We're doing decent in the middle, kind of a stalemate, and we're pushing aggressively on the right side. So T80U once again firing away with the ATGMs, hitting the M1 Abrams and one-tapping it. Beautiful work with that. But then we spot the other Bradley. So I'm trying to get this guy into a line of sight. He is now both in cannon range and an ATGM range. So that Bradley is messed up whatever happens. So we fire another one of these Reflex ATGMs, and guess what? It misses this time. But he also misses. So we do that again. And our ATGM is faster. And we hit him the second time. Amazing T80U. Did so well. That is 2 Recon Bradleys and an M1 Abrams. Really cost effective. So T80 here is still clapping the LRS. Our Spetsnaz is really nicely hidden. And absolutely stealthy. And over here we spot another LRS team. So he's doing the right things with the LRS. But I don't know why, but they removed the tree lines here. There were some trees and vegetation here you could hide in. Maybe it was a little bit too overpowered, but I kind of liked it because you could put some recon in here. And, you know, at least have something to hide on. Or hide in, but they kind of removed that for some reason. But yeah, so when you do see infantry with, you know, without any anti-tank weapons, just move a tank in there. Literally just move a tank in there. There's nothing these guys can do. And that'll be easy pickings right there. Now on the left side, we're going to go back and forth here a little bit. Master is consolidating his position. These guys actually haven't fired a single shot. They have 40 rounds in that. So that's quite, you know, quite insane. That's definitely built to last. Meanwhile in the middle, a Von Full defending out in the open. Ooh, getting a really nice ATGM hit there. But there is a big push from Mr. Spoon on the forest side of things. Now the RPO Saprees should be able to deal with that. Nice little ATGM hit once again on the Challenger. But that's a Challenger 1 Mark II. So those are really not gonna care too much about the base Conkers. It'll do 1 damage each hit, I believe. So going back to the right side here, we have now put our command in that zone. Air rifles, they have the M72, not really a big issue. And the Tow Cobra really isn't going to be a problem for the Cub here. But there is an A10 coming in. We got an A10 coming in. So we immediately smoke our T80U. We do have the MiG-31 still circling back there. We unfortunately don't actually manage to hit it with this guy. And does he actually take out one of our Cubs? Yes, he does. All of our Cubs decided to miss there, but then the MiG-31 comes in with a really nice hit. And then these 2 Cubs destroy that guy. So after that, we just immediately fall back. We turn off our Cubs, seeing all these wild weasels. and we just let our planes do the damage. So the MiG-31 here blasting away, almost destroying the F-16 and the seed plane here. And at this point we turn them back on and try to at least damage any of those planes. We actually do manage to destroy one of them. That is actually really, really nice. MiG-31s coming in really clutch. The range is amazing, the HE is amazing, the accuracy is good enough. You don't want them to be too overpowered. So our ally here in the middle, Vanful, has recovered the forest area, but now is met with a lot of armor from a Bent Spoon 2nd Infantry battle group, being quite a challenge for Vanful. He does have the 79, but he's focusing a lot on infantry instead of tanks, and I think that is kind of the weakness there. T-62s are nice, but you know, only for infantry support, let's be real. T-80Bs, good gun, good AT gems, bad armor, so they're really kind of rough to play with out in the open. We got an Su-24 cluster bomber incoming here. Ooh, man, that missed everything. That sucks. Yeah, also the AA seems to be lacking. There's some Iglas, like manpads are okay, but as a 79, you want to do what I'm doing. Just get a lot of Cubs and Strellas and, you know, OSAs, MiG-31s. Completely deny the opponent to use any aircraft, and that, you know, that is gonna make your job a lot easier. This is still cool to watch, though. Definitely cool to watch. We got a big old field push going on here. The command has been destroyed, but that is a good thing. Vanful, then again, Vanful is taking on a lot of, you know, a lot of territory. He's getting flanked from the left and the right side. The main reason I went for the forest here is to cover his right side. Otherwise, it would have been really rough for him to recover there. So we have a Spetsnaz GRU and a Sapri, so both, you know, best of both worlds. We have the RPO and the RPGs and all the Dragonovs and ASVLs, PKM and AKs. Really good combo to have there. And also, having these AA pieces here is being really, really useful, because we can block off their planes before they even get into a, you know, into position there. Now at this point, my opponent does surrender, which I understand. There was a lot of, like, extremely good luck on my side, so I completely understand. But yeah, we're gonna be fighting AI here now on this side, so it's not going to be super interesting. But me microing my AA and just having good quality units like the T-80U, you know, BVK, UD, and just Cubs everywhere, that really makes a difference. We went for quality better than quantity, except for AA, and that is doing wonders. Look at that. MiG-31's coming in, just absolutely annihilating that Wild Weasel. You only need one hit for them to, you know, to force them to evacuate. So having two MiG-31s, it's as good as it's gonna get. Now over here, Vanful is having a really rough time. A Ben Spoon is doing really good here, so he's getting Warriors with the Milan launchers. He's getting Challenger Mark IIs, which are really good tanks. He has some like rocket helis as fire support, and he has the armored rifles with more Warriors holding the flanks. And yeah, in general, it's just a really good kind of setup here. Let's just go into his POV and just see what he's doing. Yeah, lots of like cheap recon, so that's good. He's got some scouts there, he's got the Fox there, and just a little bit of everything. He has the armored rifles, the Warriors, track rapiers, also the Wombat, the recoilless guns, and the Milan all the way back there, just in case. But that is really nice. Yeah, Vanful's definitely having a hard time. Now back to the left side here, we're seeing a fresh push. Nanai is pushing in his heavy tanks, but there's a lot of Soviet tanks right here. And that guy is stunned. Oh no, engine damage. Down to 2 HP. Yeah, the BVs are gonna clean that up. And there she goes. That tank took a lot of hits, but man, that was rough. Strela 1s. I don't even bother with these. I just don't find them worth it. And they kind of just waste supplies more than, you know, destroy anything. They're really good for an opening push though, because they're wheeled, so they're super fast, and they have a decent stabilizer, so they have a 40% accuracy when moving. So I think one way I might want to use these is just to fast move them forward, They aren't airborne, but yeah, if you just fast move them over the ground, like on every single road you can imagine, it'll stop any heli push. Not because they're gonna destroy those helis, but they're just gonna make the player decide to, you know, maybe take it a little bit slower and not push as aggressively. So at this point, Ben Spoon is definitely on, or I should say Vanful is on the back foot here. Ben Spoon is pushing up. But speaking of up, our points are creeping up as well. We are about 260 points behind now. So we're doing not too bad. Now the right side definitely, you know, our opponent leaving does help, but we already kind of had the zone. So right now I'm just trying to end the AI suffering here that I took over from Earl Grey. I'm more of a Lord Nelson kind of guy, but I respect some Earl Grey. Now the Cub over here, I do like that you can see how many missiles it still has left. We get a beautiful hit, and we just smack that Toe Cobra out of the skies. Amazing. Now we are also microing our supplies a lot. Now these guys are empty, and you can now sell supply trucks. I don't know if you guys knew, but if you click on them and press L, it'll go to the base, and then it'll sell. Really nice mechanic that they've added to the game, and just cleans up a lot of things. Because a lot of people used to kind of use empty supply trucks as sacrificial lambs, and it kind of just ruined the immersion for me. Or the immersion, not immersia. So it's nice that they've done that. So fresh push here from Ben Spoon. We're actually going to go into neutral mode for this one to see what he's doing. Lots of armored rifles with warriors, or in warriors. Challengers moving up. Another Challenger Mark II back there. And we have an airborne assault. Okay, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 Challenger Mark IIs pushing forward. That is going to be rough. There's absolutely nothing here to stop that, apart from now a fresh batch of Motostrelakis. The poor Iglas doing their best against some helicopters. I wouldn't even know which one to target. Oh, it does get a hit there. Some nice splash damage, okay. Oh, poor guy. Yeah, that didn't last too long now, did it? Well, the airmobiles have made it onto the ground. That is actually pretty good for Lynx AH-1 or AH-Mark-1. 6 HP. So a Manpad only does... These Iglos only do... how much damage? 4? So you need 2 hits to destroy that helicopter. But at this point, we decide to help out our teammate a little bit. We have some MiG-27s. We have our SC-25s. We don't need them on the right side. We're kind of just chilling. We're going to help out our teammate here. At this point we are in draw territory, so that is already a good start. So we move the seaplanes over first and get these guys over there. MiG-31s are chilling, and now we're moving up the Su-25s. These guys, I don't target anything specifically, I just keep them circling here, and they can just fire at targets themselves. I think that is the best way with these. It works better with the A-10 because you have fire and forget missiles. But here I do target one of those challengers, and then we bug out. So one of the challengers gets destroyed. The other one gets damaged quite a bit. But as you can see here, if you just fly around, you can actually do some damage with the KH-25s there. So at this point, we notice planes, so we evac the Su-25s, but Vanful has MiG-31s himself, and he actually hits the Phantom there. I'm not quite sure if he hit it or we hit it, but our AA there is definitely also helping, and we actually get the last hit on that thing and destroy it. This point is really critical to use, and I do recommend everyone that plays this map, especially on the right side, don't forget about this zone here. Get in there, try to block off this, because if you do, you win the middle. Now speaking of middle, since we are way back here, we decide to push into the zone. Because usually people don't have units in the back to cover their second and third defensive lines. And especially since no one, you know, bothered to defend this that well, we're just going to make use of that. So we have a Sapri and a Spetsnaz GRU after resupplying, moving up to set up an ambush spot right here. And we have our TADU that is hanging out there as well. Oh, here we go. We finally have some cubs being built or brought in instead of Iglas, and they are just doing wonders. But no supplies with the cubs. So whenever I buy an AA piece, I always get a supply truck together. So we have AA here, we have supplies. AA supply, AA supply. We have AA here, and the supplies are now out, but there's more supplies on the way. You always want to do that, otherwise you might as well just buy a plane. Look at that. Before the Jaguar gets into any range, we destroy it with the Cub and Estrella. Beautiful. And I really focused on not forgetting my AA way in the back. This is, you know, this is as far back as I would want my AA to be, otherwise they're kind of just useless. But we do finally get a hit with one of them, and Estrella finishes the job. Now with Ben Spoon in the middle, after not being able to take over the zone, he surrenders as well. So we really just fought an attrition war. And we do try to help our teammate here with some T80Us. So he has his T80Us, we have our T80UD, and together they really are not going to have any problems with any of these tanks. The T80U alone is actually doing the Lord's work, but we help and destroy the last one there. Very sad to see these tanks go. Those are some beautiful units. So we call in our SU-25s. We just noticed a helicopter there, so we just doink it. We almost destroyed the armored rifles with that helicopter that crashed on top of them. But right now, we are on full air support mode. Now on the right side, AI is still doing its best. AI is actually not that horrible. I think they are still a little bit predictable. They kind of keep trying to push into the zones. It would be really cool to see if AI could also play really defensively, but that is, you know, that is a whole nother level of artificial intelligence there. So just going to the left side here, it is kind of a mess. You can already kind of guess what's going to happen, you know, in terms of outcome here, but it's still kind of fun to watch some of these engagements. So Nanai is on the left side here, getting pushed by Master. Ooh, sniper teams, okay. What is it targeting? These guys? That is actually doing a lot of damage. Wow. That destroyed that unit. And they are stealthy. We don't even see them. That is kind of amazing. Because they do a lot of damage. So that's, yep, 6. Squad of 6. I wonder how much damage they do when they're in buildings. Okay, so when they're shooting at something in a building, they don't do as much damage. Nearly as much damage. So an A-10 comes in for the command there, but it's a little bit too late. We already cap it. We do call in their MiG-27, kind of just to see what kind of AA they have there, and we do manage to hit a PVAD, almost hit a PVAD, and we thus stun that thing. But yeah, MiG-27 is not too bad. They're not too bad. 50% accuracy on them. It's mainly about the gun. I use them for the gun because you can take down helicopters really well, and you have really good ECM on those guys too. Yeah, just going back here, obviously it's all AI, so it's not really that interesting to watch. But I think us just heavily investing in anti-air, together with some really expensive tanks, really just made our opponent use a lot of airplanes. Like, we saw a ton of seaplanes being called in, we saw a lot of A-10s being called in, and they were just dropping like flies. We had a couple of cubs, so we have 3 cubs. We lost one of them, so that's 4 cubs, and we have 1, 2, 3 Strellas. Yeah, 3 Strellas. So 7 AA pieces in total, and they're all really, really good. The Strela 10Ms are actually pretty nice. 50% accuracy on the move. If these guys were wheeled, they would probably be one of the most overpowered AA pieces, because then you can just fast move them into the enemy's lines at like a beginning of a match and do a ton of damage that way. So yeah, the game is almost at an end. Let's just actually speed it up here. Basically 15 seconds left. Really fun match to play. I think it's a little bit of a shame that our opponent did decide to surrender, but it was really kind of a good example of when, you know, the RNG gods are on your side. But yeah, Good game to everyone. The TADU that we had, man, that did some wonders. 1, 2, 3 Bradleys, 1, 2, 3 Abrams. Oh yeah, these were called in later, so we don't really count those. But yeah, those 80 gems on the T80s did really well. The Cubs just dropping planes super easily. MiG-31 somehow actually being the ones to destroy the seaplanes. That's quite amazing. And in general, the only losses we really had that were expensive were the Su-25s. And we did lose that Cub to that A-10. But other than that, really not much. But I still hope you enjoyed this game. I really do. We're gonna be having a couple of different games come up to the channel. Men of War 2. I want to definitely give that a chance at least. And I'm gonna be blasting you guys with Company Heroes 3 content very shortly. So, with that said, I hope to see you guys back soon. Take care.